everybody, welcome to the Scott Show. This is Scott here. I'm very excited because it is premiere week for the WWE. So that means that Monday Night Raw has its season premiere. You got the series premiere, or like the 2-hour show of NXT on Wednesday. And of course, Friday Night SmackDown gets its grand return to, I guess you could say, network TV, since they were on UPN for a while. Which I guess was network TV, but they are going to Fox. It is going to be huge. As I was watching some Fox shows earlier, I seen the stuff for it, and you have Austin on there, and you have Orton and The Rock and all these other people. I'm very interested to see what happens with that, and of course we have the beginning of the Wednesday Night War between NXT, as I said, 2 hours on USA, and AEW, the upstart company that's going to start 2 hours on TNT. So, let's get to it first, folks. I want to talk about Monday Night Raw. Now, next week, we will be having the draft between Raw and SmackDown, and that will be fun. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because, of course, we have a pay-per-view on Sunday night. So, it's going to be a very, very busy week for the Scott Show. We will have the SmackDown review on Saturday. We'll have the wrestling, or the pay-per-view review on Monday to go right back to the show. But Monday we start with Raw. We have a few big matches announced. Lesnar's going to show up. You have Mysterio versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. I'm not interested in that. I'm really not, because they've already set up for Rollins and Bray Wyatt in 1 week in Hell in a Cell. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to Cedric Alexander and AJ Styles. Maybe they'll change the title there and do it again at the pay-per-view. So many other things can happen, and it's Monday Night Raw. I'm excited for Monday Night Raw, and I think it's going to be fun. I am a big Raw fan. They are changing the people who... they are changing the announce teams a little bit. So, I'm very interested to see what happens like that, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, give them a try, and see what happens. Now, we get to the Wednesday Night War between NXT. They've already had 2 weeks of shows showing the NXT UK champion, Walter, on the network, which was interesting. So, you had the NXT UK guys on the network, but you had the regular NXT guys on the main show. Very interesting how they're going to do that. They got 3 title matches coming up this week. They have the women's title, Candice LeRae against Shayna Baszler, which will be a great match. I think Shayna's going to win, though. I think she's got a date with Rhea Ripley at TakeOver in a few weeks. So that should be interesting in November. Or maybe they'll do it earlier. I don't know, but I would love to see Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. And then you also have the Street Profits against the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I think they're just phenomenal. So I don't know who's going to win that, but I'm just looking forward to it. And then, of course, the NXT Championship match. The first one on a live 2-hour on USA. You have Matt Riddle against the champion, and his name is Adam Cole, baby. His actual name is Adam Cole, but he just adds that baby part, or baby, or whatever. And he's the NXT champ, and he looks like a modern-day Shawn Michaels. So the guy is just phenomenal. That match is going to be great as well. Look forward to seeing Johnny Gargano come in there somewhere. Because he's Johnny Wrestling. He's got to show up on NXT. It's like a thing. AEW is going to try to counteract that with the Young Bucks. And I don't even know why. I guess Kenny Omega, who is this big guy wrestler in Japan. Nobody really knows him over here. Not many know him over here. But Kenny Omega came out and said, yeah, we're going to bring the big guns of wrestling and, against these, developmental people. Kenny Omega was only a developmental person before he came over to Japan and became a big deal. And not to say he didn't work for it. He worked for it. But he's coming back to a brand new market where they don't really know him all that well. He's a phenomenal wrestler. But they don't know who he is. Who's the champion right now? Chris Jericho. Why? Because Chris Jericho has a name. Who is Chris Jericho defending against at the next pay-per-view? Cody Rhodes, because he also has a name. And I'm going to call him Cody Rhodes because that's his name. I'm not going to say Cody or whatever other names he went as. It's Cody Rhodes. It's just logic. If wrestling used logic for 5 seconds, it would be amazing. But I guess you have a 6-man match between, I think it's Omega and the Bucks against Jericho and 2 mystery partners. It's probably LAX. I hope it's LAX. I would be cool with whoever it is. It isn't going to bother me who it is. I don't see anybody. I mean, if it's the Usos, great. I could care less because they suck. And I hope that it is. If it is, then, hey, Nyla Rose can eat Naomi for breakfast. I don't really care. Or Awesome Kong. That would be pretty cool, too. This is going to be yet another highlight of Impact. I mean, because they're all from Impact anyway. With the exception of Omega, I guess. And Jericho didn't wrestle in Impact either. That's kind of interesting. So, AEW is going to try to make a deal of it on Wednesday nights, 2 hours. Their crowds are going to be pretty big to start because it's a niche. It's a new thing. But I tell you, put Orange Cassidy on there one time. And, Orange Cassidy and Joey Janela, put that on there. And I guarantee TNT will say, sorry guys, you got to go off our TV. Y'all are terrible. I personally think that Orange Cassidy should get his hands out of his pants and actually show people that he can wrestle. If he can't, I don't really care either way because I'm not going to watch him. And Joey Janela is a piece of crap. So there you go. And I've said that out loud on Twitter. I've had people come back to me, and I don't really give a damn. I have my opinions on the show, and I'm going to give them. I give AEW a chance. I'm not going to buy their pay-per-view. I'm not going to give them money, but I will give them a chance to succeed, and we'll see what happens. They have good wrestlers. I like Jericho. I've liked Jericho 20 years ago. I like Cody Rhodes. I do like Kenny Omega. I'm not going to fault him for what he did in the past with the whatever. And, I do listen to Jim Cornette, so if y'all heard that one. I'm not going to watch the Young Bucks. I'm just going to walk away. That's a bathroom match to me. I just don't care for them. And I do want to see Adam Page succeed. Sean Spears is iffy to me. I mean, he took a really terrible loss to Cody in the first match they had of their feud. Made no sense at all. But the shining star of AEW, no matter what, is going to be MJF. That guy is a future World Heavyweight Champion. He is the future of wrestling. I cannot wait to see him come to WWE and show everybody what he's made of. The guy is just a phenomenal athlete. He is a great talker. He knows how to be a heel. You ever want to turn him face? It'd be crazy. Only time I think he ever turned face was when he fought against Joey Ryan. Because Joey Ryan is a disgusting pig. And a waste of human flesh. And that match kind of disappointed me a little bit. And I got disappointed in MJF. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give him another shot, like I gave Kenny Omega. So, what I want to say there is I'm giving AEW a shot. We'll see how it works out. It's going to be very interesting. The first event is coming up. They have their women's title. Riho against Nyla Rose. And they also have John Moxley's going to show up in that 6-man match. And there's some other I think it's Brandon Cutler against MJF, and that's going to be a squash. So, we'll just see what happens with the Wednesday Night Wars. But so far, so good. I'm going to NXT. And the last but not least, I want to talk about SmackDown a little bit. It is Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Brock is going to win. Brock is just a phenomenal athlete. They want to do the sports thing with the WWE Championship. That would be kind of cool. They're going to go over to Saudi Arabia. Nothing bigger than going over to Saudi Arabia and giving The Undertaker one last shot at the title. I don't know. But we will see what happens with that. They are going to draft, so things are going to change that way. And I'm just curious how they're going to handle Kofi Kingston after he loses the title. But I'm looking forward to the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, and hopefully it's not... I wouldn't mind seeing a 4-way match for the title. I wouldn't mind seeing just something completely different, just because now you're on Fox, now you have all this talent, now you have things to do. So, WWE, your job is to surprise me between now, with you got Hell in a Cell coming up. You don't have the WWE match for that. You do have the Universal title on the line. You do have the women's title on the line, so that's cool. You have both women's titles on the line, actually, and the World Women's probably, or World Women's Tag Team. But WWE, I want you to surprise me. So next week we have, starting tomorrow, we have Monday Night Raw, Wednesday Night Wars AEW, which we will do a separate review on, as well as NXT. Then on Saturday, I do apologize. So it's going to go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I will be here for a SmackDown review, a preview of Hell in a Cell. They'll probably have more matches set up. And then on Monday, we'll have the wrestling pay-per-view review, along with something about Raw or something about the next week. It'll be interesting. There's a lot of big matches coming up. Look forward to it. Also, Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens in a ladder match on Friday Night SmackDown, career versus career. We'll see what happens there. So you guys check us out on thescottshow.com. All of our stuff is there. You can go to Patreon. You can go to YouTube. You can ask me questions. You can go to my Facebook. You can check out all the cool stuff you want. So check us out and enjoy Premiere Week. It's going to be a big week in the world of wrestling, and it will be nothing but fun. Have a great time, folks, and we'll catch you here real soon on thescottshow.com.